Hello guys, welcome to this new episode of Code with Secho. My name is Secho Fianuseto, your favorite and the best software engineering content creator in Ghana. So on this episode of Code with Secho, we'll be discussing Flutter, an overview of Flutter, we'll discuss the ecosystem of Flutter, and some features of Flutter that influences the performance and the smoothness of Flutter applications. If you are watching this video for the first time, or if this is your first time on this channel, I would like for you to subscribe. I would like for you to comment whatever that you don't understand, and I would like for you to share and like our videos as well. So stick around, let's discuss, let's learn, and let's code together. So you've heard of people talk about developing mobile apps. You've heard of people, software engineering or software developers, talking about developing websites, desktop applications, and mobile apps using something called Flutter. And then you ask, what is Flutter? What is this thing that they are using to develop those apps? So we say, I am here to let you know that Flutter is not an alien. Flutter is not someone sitting somewhere, or Flutter is not a physical tool that you can go and hold. Flutter is a UI kit or a UI SDK that have been developed by Google, and it's written using the Dart programming language. And then this Flutter UI kit or UI SDK works for different software platforms like desktops, platforms like web, platforms like mobile, which is Android or iOS, right? So this Flutter is just let's say a system, right? It's a kit, an SDK, a software development kit that helps you write all applications, or write your mobile apps, your desktop apps, your websites, or even embedded systems in one single code base. Flutter has a single code base feature, and this feature helps us to write our application once in Flutter, which means an application that you want to write for Android and iOS will be written just once. You don't have to write it in Java and later write it in Objective-C or Swift for iOS. No, it doesn't work that way. With Flutter, you only write it once and then it runs for all platforms. All right, so that is one main feature of the single code base feature in Flutter. All right, we also have the compile to native code, which means that when Flutter is compiling your app, it doesn't need a betweener, or it doesn't need any other entity in between the Flutter framework and then the native platform, right? It runs, or it compiles its codes directly with the native platform. All right, and then Flutter codes are also reusable, which means when you write the code in for Android, it's the same code that you use for iOS, and it's the same code that will run for desktop and web if you want to. And then there is consistency in codes as well. If you write code in Flutter, that code is consistent across all platforms. You don't have to rewrite for any other platform. So that's one beautiful feature of the single code base in Flutter. Flutter applications are also of high performance, and that is because your Flutter runs or compiles the apps to native ARM or native Intel code. All right, it uses Impeller or Skier for rendering. Those are the rendering engines that Flutter use for rendering your text, your images, and all those other widgets that you see in or on your screen, right? And then it also has no JavaScript bridge, which means there is no JavaScript needed to convert the Flutter code into the native code, right? So Flutter communicates directly from its language, which is from the Dart, straight to the native language or the native code that is understood by your platform. So that is also another feature or brilliant feature that comes with Flutter, high performance. We also have the widget based UI, right? So everything you see in Flutter is a widget. From buttons, from text, from layout to screens are all widgets. All right, and widgets, as we say, are the fundamental blocks or building blocks of everything you see on your screen. So when you see text, when you see buttons, when you see layout, anything you see in your app in Flutter is referred to as a widget. And then widgets are also rebuilt. The widgets are immutable, which means they don't change, they are only rebuilt. All right, or they are not directly modified, they are only rebuilt. That is also one good thing about widgets in Flutter. All right, so when you come to Flutter, when we start working on Flutter and I mention widgets, I'm just talking about either a layout, a text, an image, or any other thing that is being rendered on our screen. All right. And then we have another beautiful feature in Flutter, which is the hot reload feature. All right, this hot reload feature helps you in development. It helps us to develop applications faster. It helps us to maintain the app state whilst we see live changes. All right, while we see instant changes whenever we apply those in development. All right, so it's like when you are developing an application and you change a text or you change a layout, you don't have to restart the whole application. You only have to reload it, which is the hot reload feature that comes with Flutter, and then you instantly see those changes. So those changes also helps, or the hot reload also helps to maintain the app state. All right, the current app state is maintained whilst you reload the app, or you hot reload the app and see the changes that you've made without losing any data that you've previously entered. That is also another beautiful feature that comes with the Flutter SDK or the Flutter framework. And then in Flutter, we also have the packages, right? When we talk about the Flutter ecosystem, we are talking about the packages that can be seen on the pub.dev. All right, the Flutter pub.dev is the marketplace for Flutter packages. All right, so when it comes to state management, when it comes to backend implementations, when it comes to specialized packages, we can see all those things at the pub or on the Flutter pub.dev. Packages are very helpful because they prevent you from writing a lot of code. When it comes to state management, we have packages like the blog, the getX, the riverpod, the provider package. All right, all those packages help you to write your code faster when it comes to state management. All right, for backend, we have like the Firebase, we have like the AWS amplifier, and those helps you perform backend implementations in your Flutter app. All right, and then for specialized packages, we have the Flame package, which is for the game development. We have the Flutter Animate, and we also have the macOS UI package. All other packages can also be seen on the pub.dev. We have the HTTP package that helps in performing HTTP actions, or that helps to communicate with third-party APIs. we have a lot of packages on the flutterpub.dev. We will look at all those things when we begin development on our app. All right. And then we also have developer tools, right? Tools that we can use or that help us to build Flutter apps very well and efficiently. We have the Android Studio, we have VS Code, we have the IntelliJ IDE, we have the Flutter developer tools, and then we have the testing support. All these are tools that helps in developing Flutter applications. All right, for this our lesson, or for in this playlist, when we start the development, we are going to use Android Studio for our development. I'll take you through the installation process, how to install Flutter in Android Studio, and then we can develop our apps using that particular one. So stick around, don't miss a single episode in this playlist. All right. And then we also have the Flutter community and the learning support. All right. So we have the global community support, we have Stack Overflow, we have Discord, we have Reddit, and we have the official Flutter docs, which is very important. All right. Flutter docs, the official one, has everything or every documentation for any function that you see in Flutter. It's very important, and for all those platforms or for all those communities, I'm going to put a link in the description. So I would like for you to check them out, see the one that works for you, and join any community of your choice. All right. Thank you. Thank you for sticking around. We've gone through Flutter, the basic understanding of Flutter, its overview, the ecosystem surrounding it, and some important features of Flutter. Up next, we'll talk about the Flutter architecture. We'll also talk about the difference in Flutter, native applications, and then cross-platform frameworks. So stick around, don't miss an episode. And if you are watching for the first time, I want for you to subscribe. I want for you to like this video, and then I would love for you to also share with your friends. If there is anything that you don't understand, or if there is any contribution, I would love for you to put it in the comment section. I hope to see you on the next episode. Bye bye.